Welcome to this expanded and comprehensive audiobook summary of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, a seminal work that has shaped the lives of millions since its release in 1989. We're diving deep into this transformative guide to personal and professional effectiveness. We'll explore the origins of the book, its global impact, each of the 7 habits in detail, additional concepts like the emotional bank account, and practical applications for your life. Whether you're a first-time listener or revisiting these principles, this summary will provide a thorough understanding of Covey's philosophy. Let's begin. Stephen R. Covey was a leadership expert, educator, and family man who dedicated his life to teaching principles of effectiveness. He held an MBA from Harvard and a doctorate from Brigham Young University, where he also taught for many years. Covey's work was deeply influenced by his study of 200 years of success literature, where he noticed a shift. Early success principles focused on character ethics, like integrity and humility, while modern approaches emphasized personality ethics, like techniques and public image. Covey sought to return to a principle-centered approach, and The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was the result. Published in 1989, the book has sold over 40 million copies and been translated into 40 languages, making it one of the best-selling business and self-improvement books of all time. Its impact extends beyond individuals. Corporations, schools, and even governments have adopted its principles for leadership training and personal development. Covey's framework is timeless because it's rooted in universal principles like fairness, honesty, and service, which resonate across cultures and generations. Covey's core idea is that true effectiveness comes from aligning your life with these principles through consistent habits. He introduces the concept of a maturity continuum. We move from dependence, relying on others, to independence, self-mastery, and finally to interdependence, thriving through collaboration. The 7 habits are structured to guide you through this journey, divided into 3 stages: personal victory, public victory, and renewal. Let's explore each habit in depth. Habit 1. Be proactive. The foundation of personal effectiveness is proactivity. Covey begins with a profound insight. Between stimulus and response, you have the freedom to choose. This freedom is what separates humans from animals. It's your ability to act based on values rather than react based on emotions or circumstances. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence, the things they can control, like their behavior and decisions, rather than their circle of concern, which includes things they can't control, like the economy or other people's actions. For example, imagine you're passed over for a promotion at work. A reactive person might blame their boss, complain about office politics, or feel helpless. A proactive person, however, would reflect on what they can do, perhaps seeking feedback, improving their skills, or exploring new opportunities. Covey also emphasizes proactive language. Instead of saying "I can't," say "I will find a way." This habit is about taking ownership of your life and recognizing that your choices shape your destiny. Covey shares a story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who found meaning in suffering by choosing his attitude despite unimaginable circumstances, illustrating the power of proactivity even in the darkest moments. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This habit is about vision and leadership in your own life. Covey asks you to imagine attending your own funeral. What would you want your family, friends, and colleagues to say about you? This exercise clarifies your values and long-term goals, ensuring you're living a life aligned with what truly matters. Covey introduces the concept of all things are created twice, first in your mind, mental creation, then in reality, physical creation. If you don't create your life's vision, you might end up following someone else's, like societal pressures to chase wealth or status over purpose. To apply this habit, Covey suggests writing a personal mission statement, a document that defines your values, roles, and goals. For example, a mission statement might include principles like, "I will lead with integrity in all my dealings," or "I will prioritize my health and family." Covey shares an example of a manager who, after writing a mission statement, realized he was spending too much time on work and not enough on his children. By beginning with the end in mind, he rebalanced his life, scheduling weekly family time as a non-negotiable priority. This habit ensures your daily actions ladder up to your ultimate vision, preventing you from climbing a ladder only to find it's leaning against the wrong wall. Habit 3. Put first things first. Habit 3 is about effective self-management, translating your vision into action. Covey introduces the time management matrix, a tool to prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance. Quadrant I includes urgent and important tasks, like deadlines or emergencies. Quadrant 2 includes important but not urgent tasks, like planning, learning, and relationship building. These are the activities that drive long-term success. Quadrant 3 includes urgent but not important tasks, like unnecessary interruptions, and Quadrant IV includes neither urgent nor important tasks, like excessive social media scrolling. Effective people spend most of their time in Quadrant 2, focusing on prevention and preparation. For example, regular exercise, quadrant 2, prevents health crises, quadrant Y, and consistent communication with your team, quadrant 2, prevents misunderstandings, quadrant Y. Covey contrasts this with the common trap of living in quadrant I, constantly firefighting or wasting time in quadrants 3 and IV. He also introduces the concept of weekly planning. Instead of daily to-do lists, plan your week around your roles, e.g., parent, employee, friend, and goals. For instance, if one of your roles is spouse, you might schedule a date night as a quadrant 2 activity to nurture your relationship. This habit requires discipline, saying no to distractions, delegating when appropriate, and focusing on what's truly important. Habits 1, 2, and 3. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. Form the personal victory, helping you achieve independence by mastering yourself. Now Covey moves to the public victory, where you build effective relationships and achieve interdependence. Habit 4. Think win-win. Covey introduces the idea of an abundance mentality, the belief that there's enough success for everyone, as opposed to a scarcity mentality, which sees life as a zero-sum game. Thinking win-win means seeking solutions where both parties benefit, fostering trust and collaboration. This habit requires 3 character traits: integrity, sticking to your principles; maturity, balancing courage with consideration; and an abundance mindset, believing in mutual success. For example, in a salary negotiation, a win-win approach might involve agreeing on a fair compensation package that meets the employee's needs while aligning with the company's budget, perhaps including performance bonuses as an incentive. Covey contrasts win-win with other paradigms: win-lose, one party dominates; lose-win, one party gives in; lose-lose, both parties suffer; or win, only caring about your own success. He also notes that if a win-win isn't possible, it's better to choose no deal than to force a bad outcome. Covey shares a story of 2 sisters arguing over an orange. A win-lose solution would give the orange to one sister, but a win-win solution reveals that one needs the peel for baking and the other wants the juice, so they split it accordingly. This habit builds the foundation for interdependent relationships by ensuring mutual respect and benefit. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This habit is the key to effective communication and relationships. Covey argues that most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand, a habit he calls autobiographical listening. We filter others' words through our own experiences, jumping to advice, judgments, or solutions. Instead, Covey advocates for empathetic listening. Listening with the intent to understand the other person's perspective, emotions, and needs. This involves reflecting back what you hear to confirm understanding, such as saying, "It sounds like you're frustrated because you feel I haven't been supportive. Is that right?" Imagine a teenager who's upset about school. A parent practicing habit 5 would listen without interrupting, reflect the teen's feelings: "I hear you're feeling overwhelmed by your workload," and only then offer guidance. This builds trust and opens the door to mutual understanding. Covey draws on the Greek philosophy of ethos, your credibility; pathos, empathy for the other person; and logos, the logic of your message, in that order. Only after understanding the other person should you seek to be understood, sharing your perspective with clarity and respect. Covey shares a story of a doctor who, instead of listening to a patient's concerns, prescribed medication prematurely, leading to a misdiagnosis. Had the doctor sought to understand first, the outcome would have been better. This habit transforms relationships by creating a safe space for honest dialogue. Habit 6. Synergize. Synergy is the pinnacle of interdependence, creating something greater together than what you could achieve alone. Covey explains that synergy comes from valuing differences, whether in perspectives, skills, or experiences, and combining them to generate innovative solutions. This habit builds on the trust, habit 4, and understanding, habit 5, you've established. Synergy requires openness, creativity, and a willingness to be influenced by others. For example, in a corporate team, synergy might look like combining a designer's creativity with a data analyst's insights to create a marketing campaign that's both visually stunning and data-driven. Covey shares a personal story of working with his son to clean their yard. By brainstorming together, they not only completed the task efficiently but also developed a system that made future cleanups easier, strengthening their relationship in the process. Covey also emphasizes that synergy often leads to unexpected outcomes, what he calls the third alternative, a solution neither party could have envisioned alone. In nature, synergy is evident in ecosystems where diverse species work together to thrive. In human relationships, it's about leveraging diversity to achieve extraordinary results. The public victory habits: think win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergize enable you to achieve interdependence, where collaboration leads to greater success than independence alone. Now Covey introduces the final habit, which ensures you can sustain these practices over time. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Covey uses the metaphor of a woodcutter whose saw becomes dull from overuse. To stay effective, you must sharpen the saw by renewing yourself in 4 dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. This habit is about self-care and continuous improvement, ensuring you have the energy and capacity to practice the other 6 habits. Physical renewal. Take care of your body through exercise, nutrition, and rest. For example, committing to a 30-minute daily walk can boost your energy and reduce stress. Covey shares a story of a busy executive who started running regularly, finding that the physical renewal improved his focus and productivity at work. Mental renewal. Keep your mind sharp through learning and intellectual growth. This might involve reading a book a month, taking a course, or solving puzzles. Covey notes that mental renewal often happens in quadrant 2, important but not urgent activities that many people neglect. Emotional renewal. Nurture your emotional health by building relationships and managing stress. Spend quality time with loved ones, practice gratitude, or journal your feelings. Covey emphasizes the importance of keeping your emotional bank account, more on this later, full through acts of kindness and understanding. Spiritual renewal. Connect with your values and purpose through meditation, prayer, or time in nature. For example, a weekly hike in the mountains might help you reflect on The 7 Habits offers a practical guide to spiritual renewal, ensuring you stay grounded in your principles. Covey stresses the importance of balance. Neglecting any dimension leads to burnout, while consistent renewal ensures long-term effectiveness. He shares an example of a couple who, after years of neglecting their relationship, started scheduling weekly date nights. Emotional renewal, which strengthened their marriage and improved their overall well-being. Habit 7 is the habit of habits. It ensures you can sustain the other 6 over a lifetime. Additional concepts. The emotional bank account and principle-centered living. Covey introduces several supporting concepts that deepen the impact of the 7 habits. One of the most powerful is the emotional bank account, a metaphor for the trust in your relationships. Deposits into this account include acts of kindness, honesty, keeping promises, and showing understanding, while withdrawals include criticism, disrespect, or betrayal. A healthy emotional bank account enables you to navigate conflicts and practice the public victory habits effectively. For example, if you've built trust with a colleague through consistent respect, deposits, they're more likely to forgive a mistake. A withdrawal. Covey shares a story of a father who apologized to his son for losing his temper, a deposit that rebuilt trust after a withdrawal. Covey also emphasizes principle-centered living, aligning your life with universal principles like integrity, service, and fairness. He argues that principles are like natural laws. You can't break them without consequences, just as you can't break the law of gravity. For example, if you live dishonestly, you'll eventually face the consequences, whether through broken relationships or a damaged reputation. Covey encourages you to center your life on principles, not on external factors like money, popularity, or even family, which can be unstable. He shares an example of a business leader who, by focusing on integrity over short-term profits, built a company culture that attracted loyal employees and customers, leading to long-term success. Practical applications and impact. The 7 habits are highly practical and can be applied in various contexts. In a professional setting, Habit 1, be proactive, might mean taking initiative on a project without waiting for instructions, while Habit 4, think win-win, could guide a negotiation with a client to ensure both parties feel valued. In personal life, Habit 5, seek first to understand, can transform a strained relationship with a family member by fostering deeper understanding, and Habit 7, sharpen the saw, might involve setting boundaries to prioritize self-care amidst a busy schedule. The book's impact is global. Companies like Microsoft and Marriott have incorporated the 7 habits into their leadership training, while schools have used them to teach students time management and collaboration. Covey's principles have also influenced government programs, such as leadership development in the US military. On a personal level, readers often report life-changing results. One reader shared how Habit 2, begin with the end in mind, helped them leave a toxic job to pursue a career aligned with their values, while another used Habit 6, synergize, to resolve a community conflict by bringing diverse stakeholders together for a creative solution. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a blueprint for living a principle-centered life. Covey's framework is a cycle of growth. The personal victory habits, 1 to 3, build independence. The public victory habits, 4 to 6, foster interdependence, and Habit 7 ensures renewal for the journey. The audiobook, often narrated by Covey himself, runs about 14 hours and includes additional stories and reflections that bring the habits to life. Since its publication, the book has inspired countless adaptations, including workshops, apps, and even a children's version, The 7 Habits of Happy Kids. That's the comprehensive summary of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Whether you're seeking to improve your productivity, relationships, or sense of purpose, these habits offer a timeless roadmap to effectiveness. To To explore the full depth of Covey's wisdom, we recommend listening to the complete audiobook or picking up a copy of the book. Thank you for joining us on May 27, 2020.